What is the other Hello, welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. I hope you're all well. That's the first time I'm trying out YouTube Live. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, the camera is a bit different. Anyway, now I hope you're all doing well and you've been faring well with the cosmic weather, the solar event storm that's going on. We have KP4 at the moment, so we have geomagnetic instabilities, and we also have solar flares. We had some very early on today. We had an M-class flare, we had a near M-class flare a few hours ago, we have several C-class flare that nobody is counting anymore. And we are also have Schumann resonance spikes and solar winds. So we've got it all going on. And it's really been a C-class baseline for several weeks now. So what I've been seeing and what I've been sharing is that basically since last week, we're already in the pre-event mode, as in we are preparing for the final event to come through. Now, what is the event? Everybody should be asking themselves what it means for them. For me, what it is the event in general that's already in progress since the end of January. It's a purification and shift in the consciousness and shift in the magnetic pole, in the magnetic core, and that's causing a pole reversal, which is not catastrophic. I've also spoke about this before. I've posted about this. It's basically a magnetic shift that needs to happen without catastrophic events that gets rid of the remaining reversals, and it's really the switch over from the old bi-wave grid, the old matrix grid, with the reversals running, and the new diamond grid system with the tri-wave, with the new Trinity wave current running through the systems. And that's what we are anchoring right now through holding the 0 point field within the madness. Now, a big message is that we need to now just fully collapse and fully withdraw our attention from any of the fallen timelines. So whenever we see anything, and I've spoken about this before, which are, negative headlines trying to draw us in and trying to make us click that button. Now, all I'm doing is, if I even see anything, which is barely anything at all, I'm not even giving it any attention. Just in my mind, shift, delete, just scrolling past it. And that's really with everything, because every time I've been tuning into the field since the eclipse, since before even the eclipse activation. And thank you so much for everybody who took part. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you, everybody, for adding your keys and your codes, trusting me in, providing this, holding the container for these amazing activations and frequencies to come in, which we are directing and amplifying and focusing in on. And we basically did it. I mean, I'm not saying we alone are doing all of this, because also, again, these are collective activations that we are anchoring on behalf of all. So these are coming in, and everybody who at higher soul level is part of this ascension is picking up on them, because that's just what I'm here for. I'm holding the Cosmic Ascension template, and I'm here to anchor these codes and make them available in the field. And as we do this together, we are so much more powerful, and everything gets amplified and accelerated. And that's really what we're here for, to know that we can make the shift happen, that we can help making it happen. And it's a divine co-creation, always with Source and our teams of light and higher selves. So it's not even about me healing you, but it's about me, Taina, and bringing these activations in, and the keys and codes that I'm holding, and also the keys and codes that you're holding, and we are exchanging within the field. That's also what I've been shown. So really, what we've been doing is is just clearing out the last remnants of this matrix. And since before the eclipse activation itself started, during that day, the old is gone. It's gone. It's literally just now like a density veil layer, as I see it, when I go into meditation, that needs to be shifted. And today was very heavy and uncomfortable. There's also through the resonance spikes, because they're very intermittent. So it's not when there's just a full whiteout for several hours, which I find much more exhilarating and enjoyable, but it's these intermittent spikes. So it's like, and you feel kind of tired, but you also can feel that you can't sleep, or you might have restless sleep. So yeah, we're really being activated from within the core of the earth and through the sun. So what I'm also being shown is these pulsations going out from the core of the earth out, and really, coming through our earth chakra, and then also the solar energies coming in through our crown. And we had some beautiful crown activations and pineal openings and activations, clearing out any remaining implants and inserts and pineal cages. So again, everything I'm also writing about, these are the things that are coming up, and as and when each person is ready, this will then release for them. Okay, so it's not in that moment everything is gone. It's what's releasing within the field and what's activating and clearing and healing. So that's just for an example. Now, I'm doing a YouTube live. First of all, as I said, I wanted to try it out because I didn't like Facebook Live when I tried it out. I had troubles with downloading the videos before. And then people have asked me, like 3 people within 24 hours, if I would do a call, I would like to do a call. Now, the call, there are certain reasons why I'm not doing one right now. So I thought a YouTube live is a good way of doing this. And now I have actually no idea where I can see comments. That would have been a good idea. Could somebody write a comment who's watching, just so I can see if I see that? Because I'm basically testing this because I want to do a live activation on Sunday the 22nd at 10 p.m. UK time. I put the other times underneath, and I'm also going to do a reminder if this goes well. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. It's going to be a Trinity activation, Holy Trinity activation. So activating the Trinity within, Trinity Christ codes, the diamond grid, and our plasma light bodies. And if I could put a bet on any day of the event or it happening, it would be Sunday, the 22nd. Hence, we're doing this, and we're going to see what happens. Everything is ready. It's literally about lifting that last veil in divine timing, but that is now, as far as I can see. I think many of us can feel it. And it's for us now to really step into our power and know that we hold the timelines in our field. Now, this is not about forcing anything. Again, this is about ultimately the divine. This is out of our hands. Okay, it's not about controlling anything, but it's about us making the intentions, because it's really so much about intention. And I actually was getting a download before I was coming online about symbols. So we know, for example, there are loads of symbols that have been misused or abused, and many of us might have by now found out that things like, for example, the swastika in itself are not bad. They are ancient sacred symbols. It's just that they have been abused, or they have been inverted like everything else. But the symbol itself hasn't changed, but it's the intention and the energy that has been put behind it, how it's being used. And it's very important to remember now, if we look at different symbols, or we might find out that certain sacred geometries are not as sacred as we thought they were. Now, I would say ultimately it really is the intention behind the person using the symbol. If that is positive, I would not worry too much about the symbol. Okay, it's the same as positive symbols or positive geometries in itself. might be very positive and beneficial for our field, but if they have been placed with negative intentions behind them, such as things like black magic, they have a negative intent and they can act as dark portals. So if you would have something like that in your room, for example, and it has been encoded by someone with a negative intent, they can work negatively. But I'm just wanting to make sure that people understand, or at least that's the message I receive from Source, my highest access that I have, that ultimately it's not about the symbol itself. And in general, it's the same with messages. It's not even about the words. It is the frequency behind it. It's the intention behind the message. And the frequency does not lie. You cannot fake a frequency. So that's also what's important to maybe keep in mind, to, if we see certain things, to not maybe jump to conclusions or, categorize and compartmentalize as much as we might have done so far. Because the most important point from moving from the old grid system to the new, and old consciousness to the new, it's from polarity consciousness, distorted polarity consciousness, to unity consciousness and the Trinity wave, which again is the polarities together with the neutrality in balance, in harmony. Because we don't get rid of the polarities, it's just that we need to balance them out and they are being harmonized, which is also happening between the masculine and the feminine, the right and the left brain, the higher and the lower self. It's all becoming one. And it's not just the masculine, feminine, but it's then also the divine child, the Holy Trinity, which we're now rebirthing as we're healing our inner child, as we're getting to the core wounds, which I think we're at right now, okay, to heal them once and for all, to go back in time, and then we become those, crystal avatars. And one thing that's coming up is the new avatar now, a new blueprint, a new template, which is the diamond avatar. And that's it's basically also in connection to the diamond consciousness, the diamond mind, the diamond grid, and the diamond white flame infusions that are coming in. But really, it's a whole consciousness, and it's beyond what has been accessible before. It's total multidimensional merge of all multidimensional selves, all dimensions, into one organic creatrix field. And it hasn't been accessed before. So it's all new. And that's why it's so important to let go of any set beliefs, anything we might be holding on to, anything we might think we know, or what's going to happen or is not going to happen. A big message has been to keep it general, to not be too specific, to focus on the feeling of what we want to merge with. And of course, just doing our work. Everything that we need to still resolve is right in front of us, really, in every moment, because everything is this. So, just one sec. So basically, we are now being tested, or have been tested the last few weeks, as I've been sharing in my other videos, in our embodiment, because that embodiment, that alignment with our diamond avatar, with our cosmic consciousness, and unifying with Source, that is what brings in the organic ascension realities online. It's not about waiting. It's not about anyone telling us what's going to happen and when. It's about doing the inner work and aligning with everything we have, every thought, every feeling, every conversation we have, every action we take, that we hold that frequency of those new realities within. Now, holding the frequency doesn't mean we are just all the time happy. That's not what frequency means. Okay? It means that you know your truth, that despite going through some crap maybe at times, you still know where you're going and that everything is going to be all right. Now that's strength. And whatever happens, it's always in your highest good. You don't resist or fight the negative experiences in life, because they're ultimately always happening for your highest good. We hopefully have gotten to that point now, because when we can do or face everything in life with the right attitude, it will be a lot easier. And it's all about what is this here to teach me ultimately. So there are a lot of diamond white activations coming in, and also aqua blue from the Aquarial, which is basically also connected to the Daughter of Christ codes. And what's coming in really, really strongly is really now for the divine feminine, the blue rays, those who connect with the Magdalene lines or the Christ lineage, the rose lines, to really step forth. And of course, it's not just a woman, this is divine feminine within us all. Okay, this is not about gender, and we really need to transverse that fully, because we're really here to embody the Holy Trinity within, which means masculine, feminine, and the divine child as one unified self, your whole multidimensional self in order. All of your aspects, one whole. Everybody knows each other, and it's one happy family within. Okay, so whole multidimensionality is merging. And that's also as we're shifting in dimensions and frequency and vibration, as also our atomic, so our atoms are spinning faster and faster and holding more and more light. And that is also letting go of any of the remaining density. So you might feel this as a higher vibration, or you might even feel more light at times, especially if you might drop into meditation and connect more with the field and the energies coming in. There's been a lot of dizziness and nausea and, vertigo and all of these things. Of course, I had a couple of days very intense migraines after the eclipse, because literally our minds are being opened up wide. It's also about the merge of the higher heart mind that is happening. And I could literally feel 2 days ago, my right and left brain are merging as a whole brain. Really, and I can feel it in my consciousness as well. The polarity is not there anymore. It's literally minimal, still conflicts that are running, but they're very easily just put to rest as they happen in the consciousness. So, the conversations we have within our own minds and we might have with other people, even though they're not there, so kind of conflicts that ultimately are happening within us, but we're projecting them out. And the other people are the actors in our play, so to say. Now, how to exit the matrix. We are exiting the matrix by realizing it is a simulation, by realizing it is a dream, and by knowing what is real and what is not, and seeing through the illusions and calling them out for what they are. And I think we've been doing this really well over the last while, and it's really to just keep on going and to keep collapsing all of these fallen timelines, which are already energetically collapsed. This is all the phantom matrix, it's gone. And a higher energetic level, it's gone. This is literally just the last veil. As I see it, it's like an energetic remnant that is lifting. It's being cleared until the final purification event that gets rid of the rest. And we keep going, we keep clearing, we keep integrating, we keep aligning, and we keep anchoring the higher light into the crystalline core. Really important to connect with your Earth Star chakra, 30 centimeters beneath your feet. It's aquamarine light. And to the crystalline core of Gaia, and we anchor these frequencies in all the way up through source, through your heart. That's your sacred stargate, and huge activations happening there. And what I see really as the event happening, it's a spiritual light as I see it, awakening, activating also the crystalline core, finishing the pole reversal, and switching between the old and the new grid, also as a really a heart grid activation, because it's really our diamond hearts that are at the core of our higher self-integration and activating the new unity grid, which is really based on love. Love is the secret ingredient, and in a way, the fifth element, which is ether, which is plasma. So, but we are here through our hearts, because also through your high heart, you have monadic integration. So your soul literally moves in through your heart. And the sacred crystal heart is also what has been most heavily attacked. through betrayal and heartbreak and lies and manipulation and all the trauma we have been through. And most who are listening know this obviously very well. And especially, again, the Blu-rays who are doing a lot of the transmutational work, and also through the mother arc, we are clearing a lot of this heavy density, miasms, reversals, AI from the grids. So it's happening for our own bodies. All together, we make up the planetary body. So whatever we do in our fields, we also help do for the planet. And then our soul groups get affected, our ancestral lines. That's obviously another thing that's clearing very heavily. I mean, it's really everything that's left right now that's just been purified. It's literally just a total liquid light cleanse wash of diamond white light with beautiful aquamarine blue that was coming through today. And also from there, remember, diamond is really rainbow light. So it's ultimately encompassing all of the light rays and sound rays. So that's another thing. Music of the spheres is also connected to our 12-dimensional blueprint that we have in our field. And it's really, they have a turn. It's the original sound and light fields from creation. I don't know why I can't speak today. It's also the energies. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm kind of being forced in a sense, because it just, I was just guided to do this. Also to bring forth a special message for the twin flames, if I then can speak. So it's all being cleared. Open up to receive, believe that everything can be healed, okay? And that it is happening now. If this resonates with you, as always, only take what resonates, leave the rest. But the more of us that can merge with that frequency and embody the frequency, ignite new air from within. And really, I mean, my realities have shifted a lot, besides maybe the last physical part. And that's really all I see as well. So when I drop into meditation, which is my real side, that's where you see the real reality. It's literally just little remnants of negative energy to be cleared, but it's gone. And when I then look into this reality, it's like, okay, why is it still there? But on that note, as I've mentioned in one of my posts, before the eclipse activation, I saw the bench glitching outside on the square where I live. And the night after, I saw actually the table where I'm sitting on now glitching right next to me before I went to bed. So it's glitching. The hologram is glitching. I can't see anymore. I know I've heard a couple of other reports as well that are saying things alongside what I'm reporting. Not that I'm trying to convince anyone, but just, or that I need anyone to confirm it for me. But obviously, it's always nice to get confirmation. I guess that's why we're all sharing it, and we're not somewhere in a cave on our own doing this, as we might have done in other incarnations. So, my message for the twin flames is the following. What I believe most of this is about, the twin flame journey, has always been about your own journey home. So your own journey to yourself, fully loving yourself, fully healing yourself. They're like a catalyst, an intense catalyst that drives you crazy. And I don't think that anyone would really choose this, that is really on the journey, if they had a choice as they're going through it, because it's so intense. And when my twin flame came to me in a dream about 4 years ago now, I haven't had any set idea about the whole concept, nor was I interested in it. I was kind of in a long-term relationship, and we had already wasn't working well, and kind of, broke up already a couple of times. So anyway, and then a dream happened that activated me, and things developed from there. But really, I always try to find out for myself, what does it really mean? What does this journey mean for me? Because it's like any other ascension journey. It's very personal. No one journey is the same. So I don't think there's a general template that everybody is here to follow at all. But there are certain overlaps and certain themes, obviously, that we all share. And that's what I'm going to share now, what I think this is mainly about. So ultimately, it's about our own healing journey. And the twin flame is ultimately, it's your genetic equal, but it's also your most polar opposite. And what this really is about, it leads you back to true divine love and us really finding out what that really means, because it does not mean what the relationships on this planet have been so far. Because obviously there are a lot of distorted relationship templates, and the twin flames are here to anchor really the new templates and figure them out and what works and what doesn't. And a lot of this is really built on paradox. One, I would say, would be it's unconditional love, but it's not unconditional tolerance, because one of the things we need to learn is to, not be needy and not running after, the other person, for example, and wanting to have, the other person reaffirm their love to you. Because obviously in these divine partnerships, or that's what we're trying to get to, in these connections, there's often a runner and a chaser, although I wouldn't even like to say that much, term it that way, but there certainly are these themes playing out. And it's really all these distorted masculine, feminine, gender war, gender distortions, sexual misery programs, that all comes up as part of these intense connections. And the thing is that because the other person's kind of, your opposite part, like not that you're, as such one soul, you're independent, individual people, but the other person is like home to you, because again, they're your genetic equal and they are the closest thing you have down here on earth that feels like home. But we need to learn on the journey the total art of non-attachment. And that's one of the hardest things, obviously, if we love somebody so much. And that's also one of the key themes that keeps coming up then in all these, forth and back. And, often people come together, then they're like apart again, or even the other person could die. There's not one setup. Some twin flames are together and, work through their challenges. There is not one way of, this journey, doing this journey, or, how it should go or not. Now, the question of if they end up together or not, the way I see it, that the twin flames embody, again, these divine templates and blueprints for the new relationship templates, which is really at the core of the unity consciousness. It's the template we need to first of all hold within. That's why a lot of us doing this on our own and not with our twin flame, of the Holy Trinity within. So we need to bring the masculine and the feminine into divine union to rebirth ourselves in divinity as a divine child. And as this then heals our whole template, and our twin flame will come in. The thing is also, the 3D is the illusion. And that's what I'm saying with how do we take down the matrix? It's we need to remember the illusions and stop forgetting. No more forgetting. Okay, we are transcending now. And part of this is seeing through the illusions. So physical distance, time and space are part of 3D illusions. Death is part of the illusion. So even if your twin flame is dead, they're all around you. They're within you. They're in your heart. They're a part of you. They're never apart. And that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned on a journey. It didn't matter what I tried to get away from this connection. It doesn't work. So I just gave up and surrendered to it. And I'm just keep going with the flow, and I'm not resisting it. The same with the ascension journey. And if anybody would have told us how long this is going to take, our human self would have said, no, thank you. Our higher self, yeah, okay, because we are eternal. So, it's both ends. But we had to learn, the feminine a lot, and what I talked about before, kind of the split in my other videos. I'm just going to repeat this for the people who didn't hear it. I really believe the whole split in the consciousness comes back to the twin flames. And that's why we are key. And that's why we are holding the keys and the codes. And that's why I'm sharing the message today. Because I want us to keep transcending the illusions, even if the other person doesn't admit that they love you and can't stop thinking about you. Because believe me, when you think about them, they will think about you too. I now can feel And I mean, it has been going on and off over the years, but right now, over the last few days, and I think other people can feel this as well, the connection is stronger than ever. It's very present. It's one mind. And we are one heart, one mind, and one soul. And ultimately, this relationship is here to bring us back to our connection to source, because that obviously is the ultimate home. And no other person can ever fulfill us or make us happy. But that is what the relationship is showing us through transcending all of these programs, because that's just what we will do, because we're these opposites who are showing the mirror of what's still held within us that still needs healing. And we can't not go there because we keep being drawn back to it and we keep being triggered. So we keep having to work on it if we want to stop the pain. So it's, and you can totally transcend all the attachment to them and, wish them a happy life, see them happy, but it's like, you still think about them every day. So it's like the both ends. So you have total detachment, you go on with your life, you're not waiting for anything. Whatever they decide to do or not do, at one point you're just happy with it, but you can't help it that they're still on your mind. And sometimes people also go on and have other relationships and so forth, but I believe that person will always be part of you. And that's the thing. So on a 3D level, we might be playing out all these karmic storylines, but at a higher level, we're always together. And that's what I've always seen. And that's the illusion which we need to transcend. So it doesn't matter what we see here, just see it. Illusion. Until we no longer get triggered. And then we're done. When you know they're part of you, when you know it doesn't matter what they do, you know that they love you. And you know that you are, going to end up together if it's meant to be. It doesn't even need to be. That's the whole thing. It's a total transcendence also of this physicalness of our vessels. And it's not about a fixation on another person, but obviously there's something. But that helps us bring us closer to source. And them too. Because this is what this is all about. Because two, you and them become three with source, which becomes one, which is the unity grid. And once and that's especially for the feminines now, once we fully transcend, doesn't matter what they do, we just see through the illusions, we see what's behind their actions, because that's the thing. The feminine has the inner side, inner knowing. Again, doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine, okay? Has the inner knowing, the inner wisdom, the inner intuition of seeing beyond the illusions of this 3D matrix. And that's how she now dissolves this matrix simulation. And it's connected to the twin flames and the keys and codes we carry. And it's in our DNA. It's in our field. And the feminine holds most of the quanta. So we hold most of the consciousness. Okay, so we are often a step ahead. And we're holding the field with a lot of freaking patience. Now, obviously, whilst we're also doing our stuff, this is about total equality. And again, it's not about gender. We have to totally transcend all of this, okay? But it's often the feminine has often played the codependent role of the victim or distorted feminine. Of course, we have also, embodied this, but not, we all have distorted aspects, of course. And the masculine is kind of the runner. It's these typical masculine and feminine traits that are often mirrored in these connections and that are coming up. And the feminine basically has been either playing the victim or has been angry. And we need to really get to the point where it's like, you just see through illusions, you don't take any bullshit. It's like your whole field has changed, your whole frequency has changed, and that changes them as well. Because another thing, the twin flame relationship is like two atoms quantum entangled. So you always influence each other. Like I can feel when there's interference in this field. I can feel when he's going through clearings. I can feel what's mine and what's his. And obviously it's also collective, because this is bigger than the people. It's not about the people. It's not about us little people. It's about us literally transcending all this programming, anchoring divine relationship templates, which is the core of any society. It starts with the family, with the masculine and feminine. And any relationship comes back to the relationship you have with yourself. That's why we need to sort out the relationship with ourselves first, which is what the other person is helping us. And it's like an amplified, fast track version of what you would usually do with karmic relationships and soulmates. Okay. So, yeah. And the masculine, quite frankly, is, there is still a lot of pride and guilt and shame that they're not wanting to face. And there's this last cognitive dissonance and denial and self-betrayal that's going on that just needs to calm down, because they're just self-sabotaging. And it's not serving anyone. And it's literally, and again, it's not about us controlling anything, wanting to manipulate in any way whatsoever. And I haven't spoken about this either a lot, because my twin is probably going to think I'm trying to manipulate or whatever. Yeah. Now we're going to transcend all this shit, because obviously then it's also in our mind, the paranoia, although it's founded on something, because it's also how did we call it, the bad black witch syndrome. Okay, it's this thing within the masculine consciousness that thinks like the women are witches and we're doing black magic and we're trying to drive them crazy. Yeah, and we are here to bring them closer to source in their heart. But it's this inverted consciousness again that goes back to the start, to the fall of consciousness, where the twin flames, which were androgynous, so one being, were split apart, and then things, went a bit wrong in regards to distorted polarity consciousness. And yes, negative alien agenda came into this as well, but the split happened first, as in there has been a split within the consciousness and within families and within divine partnerships, to then for the interference to come in and divide us further and to conquer us, and the stories went on from there. Now, it depends on where everybody's at in their historic knowledge of negative alien agendas and invasions and so forth, and what has happened in Lemuria and other time periods, okay? But we're really going back to the start, where this all happened, to help heal the wounds of the split between the sexes, of the genders, because that's at the core of the distorted polarity and of the gender war. And all of this, it's all synonymous with the old matrix that's based in distorted polarity consciousness. So we have to transcend this, obviously, from within. Everybody in our life is helping us with that. Every relationship helps us with this. Doesn't matter who it is, okay? Because it all comes back to relationship. How do we relate to other people? How do we communicate? And a lot of this is really lost in understanding, in miscommunication. But it's between the egos, yeah? And it's because of jealousy and because of competition and because of feelings of superiority and inferiority, okay? And the consciousness got more and more inverted from there, because we couldn't face our failings anymore. That's also part of the forgetfulness, of us not remembering anymore. And yes, later on it was artificially wiped, but it's like we can look at everything from different dimensional layers, okay? So on one level, yeah, there's a spiritual war happening, for sure, of good versus evil. But on the highest level, it's all one, and the ultimate last war, and that's really where it originates, in our own mind. And once we can find peace in our own mind and have resolved all remaining conflicts, that's peace on earth. And the twin flames are core to this, because it also goes back to the tribes, which are now the tribal shield is sealing, which is our tribal records. It's basically the 12 core tribes and ET races that seeded humanity, and it's also connected to our 12-strand DNA. And these are the 12 core twin flames plus one that hold the sacred keys and codes for this ascension. And that's why I'm sharing this today. So for those who are getting it, transcend the illusions, whether it's death, physical distance, whether they're not talking to you. And that's the other thing, whether they don't talk to you, whether somebody blocked you, doesn't matter what they've said to you, okay, if they're with another person, if you know there's a connection and it's very current, you have to trust this and just see this is all part of the 3D illusion. And it's the same with any kind of timelines, foreign timelines right now, because I had people on my under one post mention this. But what about the food shortages? And what about this? And what about that? I don't have it in my reality. if you do, I would want to change my focus, especially right now, because this is decision time. And it doesn't matter who you've been in another lifetime or who you think you are. What matters is who you are right now, always. So, we can always fall in consciousness. So this is never always done. It's not as if we're ascending and then like we can forever just lay back and never worry about it again. It's like we always need to be holding our frequency. And again, some people holding high frequency doesn't mean that they run around and always happy. It's holding a lot of frequency sometimes makes you, transmute a whole lot of really dense energy, makes you really naggy or angry or tense, and makes you really heavy or tired. It doesn't mean that you're dropping in frequency, okay? I just want to say this because it's important to understand. So, I hope I covered this about the twin flames. I can't see. I need to find out how I can see comments. Where can I see comments? Nowhere. Great. I have no freaking idea how this works. Where are the comments? Nowhere. Great. So I will need to have a look for this. I might still do the activation on Sunday via live stream. I think very much so because it's better for that purpose. Anyway, if in future, future calls, we look at it, we're there. But for now, we're going to do on Sunday at 10 p.m. UK time an activation. So I'm going to start maybe talking a little bit, and then we're going to move into an activation of the diamond grid, the Trinity codes, and our diamond plasma light bodies. Okay, and we're going to light it up. We're going to bring in some frequencies. We're going to hold the field, and we're going to do it live together. Okay, if anything goes wrong, if any connections are not working, let's tune in telepathically, okay? I'm just going to say this now because you never know what's going to happen. Because I feel there's going to be a lot of clarity coming through now. I mean, there already is a lot of crystal clarity, but even more so. And a lot of inner truths coming out also around us. So, and as the memories are returning, there are huge good activations happening at the moment. Crystalline activations, the crystalline technologies are coming online. With it, the tribal records, so our true history records, okay, from where we are from, our origins, and it's all interconnected also with the with truth, with disclosure. And again, the way I see disclosure is us remembering our true history again, who we are, our multidimensional selves, and what has really happened. And again, this is not about, 6 days of being shown something on a TV. No, this is all awakening from within, and it's connected to the new grid system. It's connected to the crystalline network within the planet. And this holds data. Crystals hold data. And the bad data is being shift-deleted right now, along with all the really bad BS belief systems, aka programs of the old matrix. And the old matrix is based on old programming. Okay, so it's already happening. So it doesn't matter what you're doing or not doing, it's happening. Nothing can stop this. This has been fully initiated now. We're in the event. This is the final event already initiated, and nothing can stop this. Okay, I believe Sunday looks pretty good. Let's see. I don't like to be linear, but we do play with time. These are coordinates. We don't focus on a day, okay, as such, but let's see what comes in ultimately in no time, and it has already happened. This is already in full force. The old is gone. I keep seeing also being shown a blank canvas. Oh, and another nice visual is because we often have referred to the race, and haven't been shown like, a finish line. It's like we've been on a long marathon, haven't we? When is it finished? And that question has also been asked. Anyway, and now I'm getting the visual of basically running through the finish line. So it's literally as you're, and the fun thing is also, it's not one person winning it. It's us together running and going through the finish line. We're all laughing. And it's like, it's not like, we're happy and we're laughing at one another. And it's like, yay. So this is the finish line, people. This is the finish line. This is where we exit the matrix simulation. And we bring it all down by remembering what isn't. Death isn't real, time isn't real, space isn't real. Imagine 360-degree bubble around you. your Merkaba vehicle. Oh, amazing diamond Merkaba activations happening in our pineal, third eye, heart, and our field, bringing our Merkaba vehicle, our child of light, fully online, our multidimensional travel vehicle. And this is really where everything happens and everything is. Okay, so you're not really going anywhere. Let's think of teleportation. It's you're changing and shifting your frequency. Okay, like a radio station. Because dimensions, realities are like that. Okay, and so you're not like trying to move somewhere at the speed of light. Okay, you're literally like just shifting the backdrop, so to say. And it's all projected from inside of you, your DNA. It's the film strip to your realities. And yes, it's not just about us imagining New Earth. It's many things. Again, it's clearing all the distortions in your template, which is the data in your DNA, so which is the bad data, the reversals within your DNA. So if you clear out your consciousness, the correct data can activate. And that's also why I share writing, I share the videos and the activations, because it really needs to be kind of put together as a package, so to say, because it's not just doing an activation on energy healing. Of course, you need to do your inner work, but you also want to align with every thought, word, feeling, having the visions, singing the songs, writing down your dreams, and really aligning all of your consciousness with that. It's all of these things. And obviously, it's also up to the divine and divine timing, but what's meant for us will definitely happen. And it's already happening now. So I hope you can feel it. Many can feel the excitement. It can feel like anxiety. Everybody's at a slightly different spot. I wish I could see comments. I don't know if people can comment. I'll have a look at this later and try and figure this out, because I really wanted to do this also for the comments. That was the whole point, besides it being a trial. So I hope you can join us on Sunday for the activation, which I'll be doing here live, fingers crossed. Otherwise, tune in telepathically if you can, and you do find what I share supportive, especially if you're taking part in the activation. I do appreciate donations. That's what I'm depending on, or what I'm because everything I share with everybody who wants to connect with my work, but I'm basically depending on donations and people then supporting me in that way instead. So thank you very, very much for all your support in all ways. So like, share, subscribe, comment, as I like to say, to help the channel along, because it does help. And I do know this is cutting edge consciousness, okay? And this doesn't come from ego. It comes from, I know what I'm here for, and I know that I'm here to anchor the new consciousness, and that's why I'm sharing these keys and codes, okay, with you. And this is just for, so far it's been in a way an acquired taste, because most people would like to hear, a channeling from Jesus or Archangel Michael or whatever else, but that's not what I do, okay? And I do not tell people what I want to hear. I tell people what I am getting as guidance to share with people, and that's just what it is. So, and I really hope everybody else also doesn't do things in order to, do something what they think they're supposed to be doing. It's the same if I think you noticed by now, my videos are quite raw and not edited at all, because I cannot edit and I cannot get my head around IT very much. I don't have the head for it. Ultimately, I need, someone to help me with this, but, that's just me. Crappy background. Usually it looks a little bit better than this, but that's just what it is. And I don't really care. And that's really our uniqueness, because it's like, I don't like, all, sometimes these people are really pristine or everything looks really perfect. I don't know. It just, for me, is a little bit fake. So I really much prefer the raw and the real and the, just as it is approach, more than trying to make it look all perfect. Although, of course, in future, I would like to improve a little bit on certain aspects. But you get me. As it is with everything we create, just create from the heart. And that's what I've always done. I've written from my heart. I just write. And I don't really care what other people think, what I project onto what I'm writing. Of course, I try and address, questions or certain concerns or, criticism or feedback, just for a way of clearing it in the field and addressing that, because I'm not really offended if people don't like what I do. And that's freedom, okay? So when we can freely express our own unique self as it is in that natural way, that's your alignment with your true self. That's your alignment with your unique self. And if we all are our unique self, the right people will be gravitating to us. Okay, you do not need to chase the right friends and love. Obviously, I think we have understood that by now. So what we've done before was us slightly changing or trying to maybe fit in, and trying to belong, but no more. Okay, total freedom. Be your own quirky, crazy, unique self. Okay, and the right people will love you, and that's what it's all about, of us finding our true soul family. They will naturally gravitate to you, but this can only happen if you're really your own true natural self. And that's what also this true frequency of yours is what cuts through all the false artificial matrix. So whenever you see a foreign timeline, cancel, clear, delete. Know you hold the timelines in your DNA. Activate them, speak to your DNA. What are you telling your DNA? Like, what are you telling your consciousness all the time? Your inner self-talk. So important. And self-love really is the key and always has been. Because when we love ourselves, we automatically love everybody else around us. It's the bliss. This is the keys and codes that we need for New Earth to awaken now. Okay. And one thing I wanted to address, actually, one more thing to the twin flames. As I said in my last video, that it's, kind of the negative aliens know, there's a lot of interference that happens with the twin flames from the negative agenda opposition. And that is because what I was saying is one of the reasons, first of all, because they're key to ascension, obviously. So keeping us apart and divided and at odds helps them, all right, the agenda. And then also it's really our hearts that have been very much attacked, because that's what's, love, the feeling of love, the feeling of the bliss, that's what really opens your heart. When you've ever been in love and everything is just great and everything is just beautiful. And that's the frequency really that we're after, but obviously not the ego love, kind of projection that the old world has given us, but it's really source love. Okay, and that's really to be found within, and that is why self-love is such an important part. But this is also where the twin flames are really helping us with, because they bring everything up, every fear of abandonment and rejection, because these are really the core wounds that we also have with source, between us and our parents. These are the core wounds. We all are afraid to be rejected or abandoned for who we are. Okay. And this is what it kind of comes back to. So when we love ourselves, we would automatically love everybody else and accept them for who they are. Doesn't mean we don't have boundaries, because when you love yourself, you have boundaries. Believe me, they can automatically come up, okay? So now that we got all of this right, when we come to divine union within, you will see your outside changing. And this is what's happening now. Everybody, like, as enough of us come to divine union within, the core monad, the core twin flames, okay, which are 12, but then you have 12 times 12, which are 144, okay, twin flames, ignite. This brings online the new grid. That's what I believe. It's very much interconnected, or rather it's simultaneously. And it doesn't mean you need to be in any contact. This is beyond the physical. Again, this is us transcending that. That is us unifying with our divine masculine and divine child that's always within. So in my case, that, is represented symbolically in a way through people in my life, projected out by my consciousness through my masculine twin flame and my child, who are not physically in my life. So I need to very deep within really, unify with that energy, because it's not out there. Ultimately, it's not the people. I really had to learn this through, I have contact to my daughter. It's not that, but she most of the time lives with her dad, and I only see her at weekends and so forth. So I do miss her, okay? And I also miss my masculine, but I ultimately know they're always in my heart, as I also tell my daughter. And that's really what it is. The same as people or loved animals that have departed. They're still all around us. And that's what many people have said. Once the veil fully lifts, death is part of the illusion. We will see these people again, or rather they're always around us, because it's consciousness that never leaves. And it's the same with people who are not physically with you. They're still always with you. That's the whole thing about the twin flame thing, which we then notice. Doesn't matter how much we try. And I've begged God to cut that connection for me. I've tried to cut cords. I've tried everything and it doesn't work. So that's why I've just surrendered to the whole process. And, I'm open for anything really, but I just go with the flow and I can't help what it is. So that's why I'm sharing now. And that's what I'm seeing is whatever is happening out there, I know my truth. And you can only see the truth in any regard. Doesn't matter what it is. When you go within into meditation, you become quiet. It's in the silence and it's beyond the thinking mind. Right now, really tune in whenever you have a question, really go into the 0 point field, get out of your head, okay? Just come quiet, get into meditation. Don't have your emotional mental mind running, okay? Just 0 point Zen meditation, and then ask questions that you might have. And then just wait for the answer and what comes in. Ask, connect to source and your higher levels. This is all about your connection to source and your higher levels. And if there's anything I ever want to impart on anyone, it's all about your connection to a source. And that's really all I'm here to remind you for. Yeah, I'm not here to tell you what's going to happen ultimately or what to do. I'm sharing my messages because I know they're important, but I'm mainly here to remind you, for you to tune in very naturally, okay, to your connection to source and really just God, source, which is ultimately you. I know I'm always looking up, but it's just because of the vertical connection, but ultimately it's inside your heart. It's not out there. And that's the thing. So once we transcend these last little bits of separation, okay, and divided mind and compartmentalization, all of that, come to divine union within, the unity grid comes online, because we carry these very sacred codes for the ascension, okay, for the Paradisian Edenic codes. And as they activate, what I want to get is that I said in my last video that, the division is always kind of causing this kind of heartbreak, or it's like this feeling of, there's an underlying sadness, okay? So you can never be really happy because you're not with them. Okay, and this is what the negative alien agenda knows, and that's why there's so much interference, okay? But also it's a solution, because, again, it's the illusion that we're not together. So once you can see it, that that's the illusion, that whole thing doesn't exist anymore. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So once we can, and that's what I'm seeing, and I've been shown this before, so it's not about him contacting me or us being even together, it's about me unifying this within, okay, and really activating these bliss codes, which is going to activate New Earth from deep within. And that's our own connection to source. And it's us transcending any remaining separation and feelings of, being separate from God and being separate from one another. And that's what our twin flame really amplifies on this journey. And that's what they help us, bring us back to the most, because we kind of can't avoid it. So it's really about us unifying. The divine union within is with source, becoming one with source. You become one with your twin, you become one with everyone. That's unity grid. That's the new earth grid fully activated. That's what we're doing. It's already happening. Nothing can stop that. Okay. So I hope this has helped. I hope you want to join. If this is for you, doing an activation together. If you haven't experienced some of my work yet, check out my SoundCloud channel, where I have some recorded activations there. because I use Lightlanguage as well, and they're kind of guided activation meditations where I also use Lightlanguage, and they are quite powerful, if I may say so myself. So join us if you like to. I hope this has helped you, the navigational tips, and just let go of anything you think you know, or what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. It's all going to be okay. This is ultimately simulation. Do not think catastrophes. Let go of the Armageddon programming of catastrophes, okay? It's ultimately all programming, belief systems, okay? Delete them, override them with what you want to see in your reality without attachment, okay? But play with it. Again, we really need to step fully in our power now. So claim all that power back to you, claim your multidimensional self back to you, and really step into this. And now, especially, as I said, the blue rays, the Magdalens, divine feminines, step into your power, okay, the rose line, and now fully clear the field. Anchor Mother Arc. Divine love. Hold the field for all of this to unfold, okay? And we're done. Remember, it's the finish line. We're running, all right? So I might share more other times. I've had some notes, but I didn't really want to read off them in case I've forgotten anything. So keep up, connect to nature if you can, if the weather is okay. Earthing is the best, really, especially if you have a lot of energy running through you. Try and put your bare feet on the earth. It really helps you balance, especially when you feel too electrified. Also, as I said before, I'm doing pink Himalayan salt with some water in the mornings. It's really nice, also minerals, but it also helps with the electricity, with the electric current running through you more quickly. And the more actually electric current we can hold, the more frequency and energy as well. Okay, keep anchoring it into the core. Take it easy. Take care of your body. There's a lot of clearing going on, but keep holding the 0 point field, as in doesn't matter what goes on, just stand in neutrality. Okay, keep adjusting. Keep making the amendments in your reality and whatever you're guided to. And that's why it's so important. We all have very unique skills, gifts, abilities. Only you are really able to unlock them from deep within. Okay, and it's all about that inner connection and not wanting other people to tell you what to do or who you are and wanting to fit in. Okay, because once we're our own unique self, that's also us basically, because we all have sound and light tones specific and unique to us. So when we stand in our own unique self, we also activate the sound and light fields within our field. And if we then all together vibrate within the correct sound and light fields and tones, collectively, that's again the music of the spheres as well. So it's all helping us at the moment to balance and harmonize our fields with the new sound and light fields coming in, okay, and harmonizing and basically healing our morphogenetic fields and upgrading it. And once we can all uniquely, know ourselves, stand in our sovereign self, activate our diamond avatar, we will meet our soul group, because that's what's coming next, divine co-creation. And it's going to be fun, okay? But for that, we need to be our true, unique, natural self. The old artificial self has been going down the drain with the eclipse, okay, and we're just literally washing off the remnants right now at planetary and at personal level. So just keep aligning with who do you want to be now, never mind what has happened, now that you know better, and we always choose, okay? This is never done. We could always fall in consciousness, but let's not do it again. Let's learn from our lessons, but then we really need to get the lessons. That's the point now, okay? So that's the final curtain call, I really see. So decisions to be made. I hope you're doing well. I hope this has helped you. I send you so much love. Join us on Sunday. Thank you for being here now, for all your support, for everybody who's been taking part in the activation and the ones before. And I hope they have helped and supported you as well. Thank you for all your feedback on those as well. And you can also leave some more in the comments on my Facebook or here. So thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be intense. And just keep lighting it up. Keep tuning to your diamond self. Feel like your heart crystallizing. Feel your blood, the crystals in your blood, in your bones, in your fascia, in your skin. Feel them crystallizing. I'm just going to do a very quick, actually, light language activation. So if you just want to take a moment, and if you don't want to, obviously just switch off now, and it's just going to be a few minutes, just to help us clear our fields a little bit and balance and harmonize them. And of course, the planetary fields. So just focus on your heart for a moment and imagine a beautiful bubble of crystalline diamond rainbow plasma light. And with the next breath, breathe into this bubble of light and hold it there for a moment to let it build up. And with the next breath out, we breathe this out, all out into our energy field, like a big bubble of plasma rainbow light. As we purify and clear, neutralize any lower negative frequencies, energies, entities, vibrations, sound and light fields, negative, limiting, false thought forms, behaviors, belief systems, programs. Let it all go and release from your field. Also imagine yourself in a beautiful pillar of diamond white light connecting you all the way from source down into the core of the earth, all the way through into deep space. Any lower negative energies return back to source with ease and grace. Esuna sena kara sakara shekena tara sakana tea tekena sea tea. Kunono na 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 sana ye ake ate. Anina ye. Anananu aye aye aye. Amana. Ate ananana. Anana, ete anana se anae, anae, unatana se ae, ananane aena kunata yana yana. Hey, ananasa. Oyana eane. Aku ushana ne akeate. Ae. Nae. Asuna anenaki ananatu. Ananae akianaki ashana pora yanaki anatara. Mayanange seti anakaraso. Kunanate aye. Asho te. Ananate atu ae ananate atara kana eate sunanate ashukura kayanake yanane atea ananatu ananase ananakeatea. Uyana kera sa tukuyana mananataya shukunanea keara sataya kena. Uyana na yake aru yashana te yake atana. Ota sea kena kera sakana ye kana ye dana te ana sukura sheana kana sakaraya na kena kana skukurasa. Atara ukunate asakinasa. Sukura shakana kekana karara sakana te akana karara sukura asasha. Unanane ananakara unaye are ake ataya ne. Suyanana sakara shukuya teke nasata. Opening our crystal hearts to ever greater levels of love, loving ourselves, loving others, in love and reverence for all life everywhere, knowing ourselves as one with Source and all, letting go of any remaining regrets, shame, blame, grief, sorrow, unforgiveness, fear. We let it all go. All the traumas of the past, all the memories of the fallen timelines. Back to Source for re-encryption. Sukana shakara sakara tana tekera. Mwa enakera. Sukuta a ea. A manananta e ia ushkunatara sekete natara sata. Ea tupunatara. Amamanana enakekene kana sakara tukukuna kena kana anasakara shakina kera. Suna era que ina suture que nayanatara tata a eanaka tata yana sena kena que seyana kara shukura sayanana te ayana koyanata. Feel the crystals activating within your heart. Crystalline heart. From there out into your blood. Clearing out any remaining AI signals, materials, reversals, lower codings. Clearing our bloodlines across all time and space. Isikenashkarayana karasadarayana tueyana sha varasata kekinatea kenasara teanatea natara shoko. Crystals in our bones, fascia, in our skin. Tekina sakara sakara sanayena keate anatara sudoye ananake ate sanaye ate kunanate akena sakara saka. Purify, clear, heal, balance, harmonize, upgrade to the highest divine blueprint, our whole morphogenetic field, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies, merge, unify as one. our systems, meridians, nadis, axial tonal lines, all of our organs, every cell, every atom, every atomic and subatomic particle and wave, and all the spaces in between, right down to the mitochondria. Sukuna seke na suye na keasa. DNA, RNA, quantum time codes. Sukuna sa. Kena se, kena se nana. Feel your field becoming brighter and brighter, lighter and lighter. Clearing any remaining miasms, density, lower energies, interference patterns from our fields. Ekina sa sha ke e ana sataraya kuya kesinatara sakara sata. Now, come fully back into your body, connect to your heart, and send a spark of white light from your heart into the crystalline core of Earth, into the grids, exchanging these keys and codes with Gaia and all life. Anchoring these frequencies and the keys and codes received into the end now, into the field, available for all willing hearts. Seyanana sa na yekea na tara, kuyania na sayaya, kunaya ya 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 ya, sukinaya kara sata. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I hope that was helpful, getting rid of a little bit of more density, feeling lighter, feeling brighter, more activated, more balanced, more harmonized. Drink plenty of water, as I said, and just keep focusing on all that you want to create and not that which you don't. So I leave it at that. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day, evening, morning, night, weekend, always now. Loads of love, many blessings, and thank you for being here now. Bye-bye.